Hey, what's up everyone, Olia here. So this is more of a sort of talking video, just me rambling about stuff that's happened over the last sort of 9-10 months and sharing where I am right now when it comes to my whole sort of cancer situation. So I want to give you guys some backstory, especially for those who are new to the channel. A recap, you could say. So July 2020, I have my notes written here. July 2020, I found out that I had cancer. You've got to be joking. I get a phone call when I bloody want to do a video. Anyway, let me answer this. Hello? Yeah, yeah, I think I already have it. Alright, no worries, bye. Okay, so I need to put my phone on Do Not Disturb. Anyway, July 2020, I found out that I had cancer, testicular cancer that had spread to my lungs. It had spread to my lungs to the point where I had 12 lumps in my lungs, the largest being like 18 millimeters in my lungs. Thankfully they're all gone now, but I'll go into that later on. I remember the doctors telling me that if I were to get any sort of cancer, this is the best one to get out of all the cancers. So basically, out of all the worst ones, this is the best one. But yeah, obviously, you know, no one wants cancer. Because the doctors kept telling me that, you know, I was very positive about it. And when I looked it up, yeah, lots of studies, lots of things coming up about how this form of cancer is very treatable and very curable. So I started chemo in late July. So literally everything happened within a month. So I found out that I had cancer at the beginning of the month, and then I started chemo at the end of the month. Everything was handled super quickly, mainly because my cancer was just so aggressive and it was moving so quickly and silently. So it was just good to know that I was being treated well and that, you know, there was basically a treatment plan in place very quickly. I did 10 weeks of chemo. It was initially planned that I do 12 weeks of chemo, but I ended up doing 10 weeks. And yeah, chemo is another ball game. It's just absolute hell. You know, whilst I was going through chemo, I felt super weak. I lost a lot of muscle. I gained weight as well. I gained a little bit of weight, and I had a number of other side effects. You know, chemo just makes you feel like absolute hell. Chemo is so hard to describe to anyone who hasn't been through it. It's something that's just indescribable. Yeah, I don't really know how to describe it. You pretty much feel like a zombie. You know, that's the only way I can really get close to it. You feel like you're a zombie. You feel like you're half dead and you're sort of just going through the motions. It just completely destroys your body. But thankfully, I've recovered quite well from chemo right now. I feel pretty much myself. I'm back to my usual self. So yeah, I'm just glad I recovered without any sort of long-term side effects from it. When having chemo, you actually sit in a room with a bunch of very sort of comfy armchairs, you could say. If anyone has seen the film 50-50, there's a scene where Joseph Gordon-Levitt is sitting in a room with all the other people having chemo. That is pretty much what it's like in real life. Like, that is how I had my chemo. I was just in a room. We weren't sitting as close to each other because obviously COVID was rampant as well at the time. But yeah, just in a room with a bunch of other people having chemo at the same time. I was the youngest person there. Everyone else was much, much older than me. People in their 60s, 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, you know, much older than me. But everyone was really nice. It was nice talking to these older folk and just hearing the stories that I have. You know, everyone just talks because you're sitting there for hours just not really doing anything, having a cannula, a line in you through your vein. I don't know, they can put it wherever really, but I had it in my arms. And yeah, you just have the sort of drip going through you. And yeah, you just have to sit there for ages. Some weeks I'd have to go in there for 3 days a week, 8 hours a day. So you can imagine it's super, super boring. But yeah, luckily, you know, like I said, I had my iPad, had my phone. A lot of the time I actually spent just talking to friends and stuff, catching up with friends because, you know, I have nothing else better to do. And my friends are interested in how I'm doing and stuff. So this was a good time to tell them. I finished chemo in early October. Obviously, I was very relieved it was over. And I remember on my last day, there was a woman who just came in for her first session of chemo. She was probably in her 30s, maybe early 40s. And she was absolutely hysterical. She was crying, she was terrified. She was basically howling. I could hear her howling whilst I was in the room. I could hear her howling down the bloody corridor. I just felt so sorry for her. She was obviously absolutely terrified. I did speak to her very quickly, just told her, like, you know, it goes quicker than you think. But obviously anyone who's coming in for their first chemo, being told that you have cancer, that's going to scare the life out of you. It scared the life out of me when I first went in. So, I mean, I wasn't crying, but, you know, this woman was just absolutely terrified. And yeah, I just felt so sorry. I just felt so sorry for her. Like, there's no other way to put it. I do wonder how she's doing now, though. I'm hoping she's much better. I'm hoping she's recovered. But yeah, I just felt so sorry for her. After I had finished chemo, it was pretty much a waiting game for me to recover so that I could have my orchidectomy. Most people usually have their orchidectomy before they start chemo, but because mine had sort of progressed so quickly and I didn't really have any issues down there, you could say, they waited till after I finished chemo and then I had my orchidectomy. So yeah, I do have one less nut. I do have one less nut. I can't believe I just said that on camera. But yeah, it doesn't feel any different. I'll be honest with you. It feels exactly the same. I don't feel any different. I do have a massive old scar down it's sort of above your groin, sort of near where your belt line is. I do have a massive scar there because that's how they go in. They sort of go in through there and do everything. So after I had my orchidectomy, again, it was another waiting game for me to recover. The recovery for the orchidectomy was terrible. I'm not going to lie. Going to the toilet, for example, I'm going to get a bit graphic here, but going for a number 2, it felt like my guts were going to fall out of the stitching. It was just terrible. But yeah, now I'm much better these days. I can walk around, do stuff, no problem. Just feeling much better. At the end of January, I had another blood test and I had a CT scan and it came back all clear. Right now, I'm currently cancer free. My blood sort of tumour markers, they call them, are back down to what a normal person would be and I have no signs of cancer. So yeah, I'm all in the clear. Now, does that mean that I'm cured? Technically, no, because there is still a possibility that the cancer can come back. I'm not actually considered cured for another 5 years. If within those 5 years the cancer doesn't come back, then my doctor will consider me cured. Right now, my doctor is very positive. He doesn't expect it to come back, but obviously you can never be too sure. But hopefully it never comes back. Hopefully I never have to deal with this shit again. Also, the NHS is friggin' amazing. The nurses, the doctors, the scientists, everything they do to take care of people, to save people, just never ceases to amaze me. And I'm so glad I didn't have to pay out of pocket. I'm so glad that my tax money, the taxes that I paid, really do go to work. I haven't had to worry about will I be able to pay for the treatment. It's just been amazing. Yeah, I know some people like to complain about the NHS, but when it comes to cancer treatment, unreal. You just won't get any better anywhere else. So one of the most common questions I get is, how has cancer changed you? Has anything changed? Has your mentality changed? I don't think my priorities have changed. I do feel somewhat the same as I did before. I feel like I'm the same person. But what's changed for me, I think, is that there's been more fine-tuning, you could say. Because I was quite happy the way I was before. I was actually in the best shape of my life as well, mentally, physically. So I feel like not much of that sort of stuff has changed. But like I said, I feel like things have just been sort of fine-tuned and I'm sort of just more focused on a few things. Time. When you're told you have cancer, inevitably the first thing you think about is, how much time do I have left? Am I going to die? What the hell is going to go? What the hell is going to happen? I already valued my time a lot before I got the cancer. I knew how valuable time was because time is something that you just can't buy. No amount of money will get you your time back. Time always just flows. So I feel like because of that, I don't want to waste my time doing things I don't want to do, doing things that I hate. And I also don't want to deal with people who want to waste my time as well, or who just don't value time in general. Time is just so incredibly valuable to me that after having the cancer, I feel like I just value it more than ever. I think as you get older though, you naturally value time more than ever because you realise that it just goes so quickly. Even when I think about, I got diagnosed with cancer last July already, and I just remember everything so well, so clearly. It felt like it happened yesterday, but the time has just absolutely zipped by. I'm also very lucky that I enjoy the work that I do. I have a very, very comfortable job. I have a very comfortable life. There's no denying that. I'm super lucky that I have all of that. I did work hard for it, of course. It didn't just sort of fall into my lap. No one did it for me. I did work for all of that. I don't even see my work as work. I see it as fun, which I think is the best thing ever. When you have a job that you love doing, something that you would do even if you weren't paid for it, that is one of the best feelings ever. And it's just amazing that I can earn money from it as well. I also realised that I like learning. I enjoy spending time learning new things. Usually things that obviously I'm interested in. And I realised it's just so satisfying learning something new. And I feel like I enjoy learning more now, much more than I ever did. I remember when I was young and when I was a teenager, I hated learning. But I think that also comes down to the fact that I was learning things that I wasn't particularly interested in. Now that I'm a bit older, I can choose what I want to learn, which definitely helps enjoying what I learn. Friends and family. So throughout my cancer, I had so many great people supporting me. I have an amazing support network. I have so many people that reached out to me. I just had a lot of people supporting me all around me all the time. It was just fantastic. So you don't see my friends or family on YouTube or my social media profiles, mainly because I actually think it's quite rude sticking a camera in someone's face, in like a friend's face, and telling them to like perform. Because these people, they don't want to be in front of camera. Most of my friends and family don't want to be on social media. They don't want to be known. You know, they have their own private profiles, they have their own private life. And I completely respect that. That's why you don't really see much of it on my channel or my social media profiles. The only people that you really see who I sort of share when it comes to friends and stuff like that is people who are already doing YouTube, doing Instagram, doing things like that. Like I said, I just think it's rude to stick a camera in someone's face and then put it on Instagram or put it on YouTube or whatever. I completely respect their privacy, and that's how I want to keep it. Also, a lot of my friends and family have no idea about this world, about YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, tech, all these different things. They're interested in their own things, and I think that's a good thing, because if I had friends and family that were only interested in doing what I do, that'd be super boring. That'd get really boring very quickly. It's good to have friends who are into a variety of different things. I valued my friends and family a lot even before I got the cancer, and now even with the cancer and having the cancer going through it, I value them even more, and it's just been great to be able to rely on them, call them whenever I want to, and just get the support that I need. Focus. So I found myself being a lot more focused when it comes to just everyday things, work, hobbies, whatever else it may be, friends as well. Whenever I want to get something done, I seem to be able to get it done even quicker than I did before, just because I'm so much more focused on getting it done. It's a really weird feeling. I don't want to mess around. I don't want to get distracted. I just want to get things done. And I also sort of have this general rule: when something takes less than 5 minutes, I try and get it done right there and then, because it takes less than 5 minutes. Once it's done, it's out of the way. It's not at the back of my mind sort of holding over me, thinking like, oh, I need to get this done, oh, I'll do it later, whatever else. I just think to myself, if I can get it done in less than 5-10 minutes, I'll get it done right there and then. I've also found myself giving a lot less of a shit, I'll be honest with you. When something is out of my control, I just don't really get upset over it anymore, because there's nothing I can do about it. I just accept it and move on. Same thing can even apply to like a mean comment that I get online. If I get a mean comment online, before I'd read it and I'd be like, oh, that's a bit mean, oh well. But now I'm just like, F this person, who cares? Block, delete. I don't really have time to argue with this person. I'm not here to please other people. I do what I like, and that's how it's always going to be. I just found myself giving a lot less of a crap about what other people think. Obviously, everyone sort of cares a little bit of what other people think. I think anyone does, especially as a teenager, especially as someone in your early 20s or whatever else. You're going to care about what other people think. But as I've gotten older and having the cancer and stuff, I feel like I just don't care much anymore, because I can't control how someone thinks or what someone thinks about me or what they do. I can only control what I think or do. And as long as I'm not hurting anyone, who cares? This is going to sound absurd to say, but I also feel somewhat invincible, which is such a silly thing to say. I don't even know why I'm saying this, but I kind of just think to myself, if I can beat cancer, then I can do anything. It just makes me feel so much more powerful. It's such a weird feeling. Beating cancer does take time, it takes effort, it takes focus. If I can do that when it comes to beating something like cancer, I feel like I can really just do anything. So yeah, like nothing really stops me now. I don't second guess myself as much anymore. If I want to do something, I just do it. I'm also a lot more open about sharing things. It's why I'm making this very video. I'm sharing the stuff I've learned, how I felt, what's happened. I just think it's actually almost therapeutic, sharing how I feel, what I think. It doesn't even matter if no one listens, as long as I'm just letting it out. That's what feels good. And like I said, when I first shared that I had cancer video, I want to raise awareness for it. Any awareness is good awareness for it. I've had so many people with the same form of cancer reach out. I've even had people discover that they have cancer because of my videos, which just absolutely blow me away, because these people, if they hadn't have seen my videos, if they hadn't have seen me sharing my diagnosis, who knows how much more worse it could have been for them. So as long as I'm raising awareness, as long as I'm being open about it, that's really all that matters. I'm hoping that this is the last video I make about my cancer, mainly because it feels like it happened a long time ago, but then at the same time I so vividly remember it that it feels like it happened yesterday. It's really hard to explain. It's just all sorts of weird emotions and feelings about it, but it feels like it's like a block, like a building block in my life. It's there, it's cemented in. I can't remove it, but I'm past it. I'm building blocks on top of it. Is that a good analogy? Have I come up with a good analogy there? I'm not sure. But anyway, I know that it will always be a part of me. And I also hope that I never really forget what an important part of my life it was. So I hope you guys enjoyed me rambling. Please do read the blog post that I have on my blog describing the symptoms and how I found out about my cancer. There's a few more details in there that I haven't covered in this video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter and subscribe for more.